welcome to Untitled Hobbies, and in today's video, we in fact have an interesting video for you guys. So the fact is, with My Hero Academia Chapter 239, we in fact have 10 arcs, at least I think Chapter 239 was the ending of this arc. With that said, there are in fact 10 arcs in the My Hero Academia manga. And what I've decided to do is I decided to go through them, give a little bit of a short review, and of course, rank them. I'm going to tell you guys what my favorite arc is, what my least favorite arc is, and of course, this will be all my opinion, and I would love to hear what your list of these manga arcs are in the comments down below. Now, this is based off the manga. Now, what would be really interesting is to, when the anime gets to this point, I would love to go visit these arcs again in the anime, review them, rank them, and see if my rankings of these arcs in the anime is different compared to the arcs in the manga. But as of this video, I am only going to be talking about the arcs in the manga. Now, with that said, I won't give humongous gigantic story lead plots spoilers in this video at all, but what I will do is I will give minor spoilers to actually tell you guys, explain to you guys what the story at this point is, and tell you guys my thoughts, because I do want to talk about these arcs in this video. But with that said, minor spoilers for the My Hero Academia anime. If you do not want to know anything of the anime, or the manga for that matter, do not watch this video unless you have read up to chapter 239 of My Hero Academia. With that said, let's go ahead and begin. Okay, so let's go ahead and start out with number 10. My least favorite My Hero Academia manga arc so far has been the Gentle Festival arc. So what is this arc about? Well, there's this guy named Gentle, and the comparisons between him and Midoriya are really, really fascinating. The fact is, if you guys remember back in the first couple of chapters of My Hero Academia, Midoriya tried to save Bakugo, and if it wasn't for All Might, Midoriya would have probably easily failed. But then if you remember, the heroes on the scene actually ridiculed him and yelled at him for trying to be a hero, because he was putting not only himself in danger, but he was putting other heroes at risk because they needed to save them and they could have gotten hurt instead. So there's this whole storyline where if Midoriya didn't get his quirk from All Might, if All Might was never there, and he tried to save Bakugo like that. Now, his backstory is very, very similar to what happened to Midoriya. And while Midoriya never truly finds out about that, Midoriya does realize if what happened to Gentle could easily have happened to him if All Might wasn't there. The fact is, Midoriya could eventually have turned into a villain because of just a one bad day scenario that went on, just like what has happened to the character Gentle. It is a very interesting comparison, but with that said, that's about as in as a comparison goes. The fact is, in terms of My Hero Academia, I have not seen one character that Horikoshi has introduced that I had no interest in. Not one character, except Gentle. Just from the moment I saw him, I just had no interest in the character of Gentle, and frankly, there's not a lot of fighting in this arc either. Not that you have to have a good fight to have a good anime arc at all. You don't need that at all. But the fact is, this arc was just not very interesting to me. I mean, great. The comparison, great. Learning about how the world works and how Midoriya could have turned into a villain. That's interesting. That is great. But in terms of the actual character of Gentle, he pretty much had no character to me. I did not like him at all. I didn't like his powers. Very little fighting. And the rest of this arc was just a very interesting school festival, which I'm not going to tell you guys more about because, again, spoilers, I don't want to go into that. But I think because of the school stuff, when the anime does hit this point, that this is going to probably become a lot of people's favorites part of the anime, and mine too, probably. I can't wait to see the festival, the school stuff animated, and see how that plays. But with that said, in terms of just the manga, we don't get a lot of the school stuff. We get a little bit of Midoriya's training, but nothing really interesting comes out of it, and then this pointless Gentle character. I'm sorry, I did not like this arc at all. Let me know what your thoughts are about it down in the comments down below. With that said, let's go ahead to number 9. So number 9, a lot of people are going to get mad at me for, because it's the final exam arc. So do you guys remember in the anime when we had this awesome scene of Midoriya, Bakugo versus All Might? And then we had a whole bunch of awesome fights with Ida fighting with the tail guy against everyone else. We had, of course, Shoto and Momo versus Aizawa. Those fights were really cool, right? Well, I'm sorry, but in terms of the manga, they just really were. They went by so quickly. We only got to see maybe a couple panels of each fight, and frankly, there was really no storytelling at this point. We had very little about Bakugo. In fact, they added more in about Bakugo in the anime than they did in the manga. Frankly, this arc in the manga is, while a fantastic arc, kind of boring, and I did not like it, and that is why this arc is number 9 on my list. So with that said, let's go ahead to number 8. Okay, so this arc, a lot of you guys are going to be mad at me as well for ranking this so low, but the fact is, I just wasn't entertained by this arc very much, at least not in the manga, and not so much in the anime either. This arc is the license exam arc. Now, this arc fundamentally is the most important arc in My Hero Academia so far. Why is it so important? Because this arc tells us what the world used to be like and how it's going to change moving forward after the loss of All Might's powers, which is really, really important for the future of My Hero Academia. We also get to know how the My Hero Academia, the whole hero thing works, how licenses works, and how you achieve those licenses, how you become a hero by law in My Hero Academia, which it's all fascinating. All of it is fascinating. All of it is really important to know. So why is this arc ranked so low on my list? It's frankly because other than the slight information that we get out of it, and of course the all amazing training scenes that are in this arc, other than that, this arc is really, really boring. Even in the anime, I just wasn't really entertained by the fights. I wasn't entertained by this whole arc. There was a whole bunch of characters, and we learned about other schools and stuff like that, but I mean, I just wasn't interested in any of that stuff, and so, to me, it's just a very boring arc. Except for the very beginning where we get to learn more about how the world works. It's just a very boring arc to me. With that said, that is number 8. Let's go ahead to number 7. Okay, I can hear it now. I can hear it now. People are rallying up against me. Because at number 7, we have the Sports Festival arc. Oh my god, one of the greatest arcs in the anime ever. How can I not like this arc at all? The fact is, I love this arc, especially in the anime, but in terms of the manga, which this video is all about the manga, this arc is kind of slow. I found the fights kind of boring, and like there just wasn't enough action in the fights. Not at least not in the manga. In the anime, it's totally different. In the anime is so darn amazing. But in terms of the manga, other than hearing Shoto's story and learning a bit more about Endeavor, this arc, frankly, I just wasn't interesting. I just didn't find interesting about the festival. You know, it's just a sports festival. It's just another tournament arc, and frankly, I just didn't find it that entertaining. Every single anime does this arc, and granted, My Hero Academia definitely did very well, but I just thought it was not worth my time of watching. When I go back and I watch the anime or read the manga, every single one from 10, 9, 8, and 7, I don't ever go back and read. The ones that I go back and read is from 6 up to number 1. So let's go ahead and talk about number 6. The Winter Training Arc. So this is a really fascinating arc. It's kind of a short arc, but it's one of the most fascinating arc in terms of the future of My Hero Academia. This arc is when Midoriya and the gang are starting to train for the winter. We got new winter costumes on, and we're just taking a short little test to see how our powers are growing. With that said, in the Gentle arc, we kind of learned at the end about the possibility of Midoriya having possibly connections to other All for One users. And in this arc, we get to see that Midoriya has another type of quirk that it spells from One for All. It's just a fantastic arc, especially for the future. What I really love about this arc was Bakugo and All Might and Midoriya just talking about this new power that Midoriya has, especially when it comes to the character of Bakugo, because now Bakugo knows about All for One at this point, and he gets to discuss that with Midoriya. He gets to he almost like worries about Midoriya and this new power. I think it is a fantastic arc, and I cannot wait to see this type of the arc animated. Okay, so here we are at number 5, my top 5 favorite manga arcs from My Hero Academia. Let's go ahead and talk about number 5. All of these arcs are just, I love them. And it was really, really hard to pick which ones were at what parts of the list. It was really hard to rank these top 5. Let's go ahead with number 5. And that was the training camp arc. Now, what I love about the training camp arc is we get to see the kids hang out and be kids. We get to see their training as well, and they're just having fun, growing their powers. It's a fantastic arc. But then the villains show up, and the villains cause a whole bunch of trouble for not only the adults, but put the kids in so much danger. We also meet this cute little character named Kota, who has a hatred towards heroes because his parents died and left him behind. He gets to grow up hating heroes until Midoriya proves to him what a hero truly is by saving his life. That moment was fantastic, both in the anime, but my god was it powerful in the manga as well. I absolutely 100% love that moment. But of course, then we actually end up with Bakugo being stolen by the villains. We have to have Midoriya decide whether or not he can go and save him. And then we have All Might and the adults trying to go save him as well. And we get this humongous, amazing fight with All Might versus All for One. And we get to learn a little bit more about their history and whether or not Midoriya could truly face All for One, which we know that at that point he definitely couldn't. Oh my god, what a fantastic arc. I can go on and on about this arc, but then we will never get to my next favorite arc, number 4. This next arc I almost ranked number 3, and I know a lot of people, especially in the anime, are going to rank number 5 over number 4, but I really enjoyed the fourth. I really enjoyed this arc. Number 4, my fourth favorite anime of all time, My Hero Academia so far, is Stain. Oh my god, the Stain arc. So this is great. We have Midoriya training, and then we get to see Ida. His brother just really got hurt by this villain, and Ida is striving to go for revenge, which a hero doesn't do, but he is young. He is still learning, and now we have to have Midoriya hopefully go in there and save the day. We get to learn about Stain. We get to learn how Stain truly thinks on the heroes, and how Stain's point of view really is the way heroes should be. And the fact is, all he's trying to do is make a change in the world for the better. Unfortunately, he's going about it the wrong way and killing people instead of trying to make the world a better place. He is trying to make the world a better place, but he thinks the only way to do it is by killing people, which is not the answer. But at the same time, it makes this really interesting question in My Hero Academia, what true morals are and how this world truly works, how My Hero Academia society, how the heroes truly work. Are they truly doing it to save lives, or are they just doing it to make the dollar? That's really an interesting whole story that this whole Stain arc presents. I love it. And then my third favorite arc, my top 3 favorite arcs have to be number 3. It all started with the beginning of the story when little Midoriya meets All Might, learns his great powers, and All Might decides to train him. He gets into UA, he becomes the hero that he's always wanted to be, and just the beginning of My Hero Academia is so emotional and so character driven. It's definitely one of the best arcs, and when I go back and watch or read the anime or read the manga, I always go back to just the first couple of times that All Might met Midoriya. Fantastic storytelling right there. Fantastic storytelling right there. Alright, and my second favorite anime arc so far of the My Hero Academia manga arc is the latest arc that we have had in My Hero Academia. It is called the My Villain Academia arc. This arc is just so darn good. In this arc, we get to learn more about the villains. We get to learn how their story goes, how they pretty much all just had one thing in common: a really bad day, and they just went down the wrong path in life. And it's just very much entertaining. And we all get to see what their motives are and why they follow Shigaraki. We also get to see why Shigaraki is the villain that he is. We get to see his backstory. And it is so fascinating to see his backstory and compare it to other parts of the anime. Everything that came before Shigaraki's backstory was foreshadowing his backstory, and I thought it was just fantastic storytelling on Horikoshi's part. I absolutely love the fact that basically everything that Shigaraki has gone through has been what Midoriya has been confronting from day one. And you could really make the comparisons between Midoriya and Shigaraki. And as we know, Midoriya was always going to become the number one hero. Shigaraki was definitely the one that's going to be built up and become that number one big boss villain. Now, a lot of people for a long time, I didn't, but a lot of people actually thought there's no way that Shigaraki could even dare become as great of a villain as All for One. They thought, well, the story has peaked around season 3, and I am out. You know, they've dropped the series after season 3. A lot of people have. Well, I can tell you this right now. Shigaraki is a far better, far more interesting character than All for One has ever been. Strictly that's because we don't have much information in terms of All for One, but Shigaraki, especially now with his backstory and with his drive. This entire time we were trying to figure out what's his character's drive from day one. At first he thought he was kind of doing it for fun, but then Stain actually made him question why he was doing it. And he decided, you know what? Because he wants to kill All Might. So then he does, but loses his master at the same time, and now the prince of villains must become the king of villains, but is not understanding what he truly wants to do. Does he truly want to change about the entire My Hero Academia world? And now the true prince is at his coronation. He has just been crowned king of the villains. And he has not only great power within him, he has drive and he has people to back him up. He has an army behind him. He is now the king of villains. And I can't wait to see how, in the next couple of arcs of My Hero Academia, how Midoriya is going to eventually confront the king of villains. With that said, my absolute favorite arc of My Hero Academia is the Overhaul Arc. This arc came very close to being the Overhaul Arc. But my god, the Overhaul Arc was really the first time we got to see how this story was changing from this lighthearted heroes versus villains story to this gritty and darker story of how villains work in My Hero Academia. I thought it was just fantastic. What is the Overhaul Arc about? So we all start out with the one, the only, the Shigaraki, the king of villains, or at least what he's supposed to be is the king of villains. At this point, he doesn't know what he wants. He just lost his master. It's not till the Villain Academia arc that he truly becomes king. At this point, he's the prince. He doesn't really know what he wants to do, and so he takes a step back and learns from a true villain, from a true master. This guy named Overhaul is the closest thing we see to what All for One might have been during his prime. The fact is, Overhaul is this wacky, weird, amazing, and scary powerful villain that has a master plan of world domination. To him, quirks are a plague. All the problems with society is because of quirks. So what does he want to do? He wants to erase quirks. Now, how does he do it? How does his plan work? And obviously it doesn't work, but how does he plan to do it? I'm not going to go in because, of course, that will spoil season 4 of My Hero Academia. We are going to get this arc finally animated in My Hero Academia Anime Season 4. Oh my god. I cannot wait to see this arc. This arc is definitely my favorite arc. While we learn about Overhaul and his master plan and how Shigaraki plans to step back and wait for the opportunity to take over, we have to focus on Midoriya. Now, I love what we have with Midoriya. Midoriya gets to meet the number one strongest character in all of UA, and he's a fantastic character. We actually just learned about this character. We just met this character in season 3, and my god, he's a fantastic character. Now, what's really interesting though is what he works for. He works for a agency, and at this agency we get to meet this character named Sir. He's the boss of the agency, and he has a very interesting connection to All Might. Now, Midoriya, he goes there to get a job. It's one of those heroes in training job application things. You know, it's actually really entertaining. It's really fun. Midoriya gets some job experience out on the streets, and it's just a whole lot of fun. Midoriya originally just goes there for that, but he gets to learn the connection that this character has to All Might, and it's a pretty sad connection. It really is. And then, especially what happens towards the end of this arc with the connection between him and All Might is just fantastic. It's fascinating, interesting, and very, very sad. This arc will be the first arc we really get to see My Hero Academia take a turn for the worse, take a turn for the darker, grayer stories. And to me, it's probably the best. It is the best arc in My Hero Academia. It's my favorite arc in the manga, definitely so far. We also have this cute little girl named Eri-chan, named Eri. And my god, her whole connection, you gotta think what Midoriya is trying to do. Midoriya is becoming a hero to save. And he meets this little girl named Eri-chan, and she needs saving. She is captured by Overhaul. Why is she captured? Again, not staying, not going to spoil it, but it is Midoriya's job to try to save her. Oh my god, this arc is definitely one of the best arcs in My Hero Academia. And when you guys see this arc, for those who are anime onlys, when you guys see this arc in the anime, this will definitely become everyone's favorite arc in My Hero Academia. I love this arc. Anyway, guys, thank you guys for watching. Those are my thoughts on the My Hero Academia arcs. Here's my list. Definitely Overhaul Arc is my top. My top. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know your top 10 list down in the comments down below. And I am out. Bye.